What is going on, world? I am the Hungarian Experiment, and today I just visited my local farmer's market and I picked up a bunch of local, whole, healthy, nutritious food here for the carnivore diet. So I wanted to take you guys through what I bought here and how much it costs. So come along the journey, and today I'm going to show you guys what I bought from my local farmer's market. And all this food as well too is within an hour or 2 hours up here of London, Ontario. So let's check it out.
Hold up. I am the Hungarian Experiment.
Alright, here we are. So I visited 4 different places at this farmer's market. One was for all this cheese, one was for all this honey, one was for the eggs here, and one was for this. This is like a local butcher there. I haven't tried this meat before. If you guys are following along, I've basically been getting all my meat so far from Western Deli and Meats here in London, Ontario, and they source their food from YU Ranch. So I'm not exactly sure where this is from, but they told me that it was local from within an hour or 2 away. I feel like if I asked them a little bit more information, they probably could have told me exactly where all this came from. But as you see here, I got a whole fresh chicken. I got 2 pounds of lean, extra lean ground beef, and then in here are 2 strip loins. So for all this here together, this was actually $70. So definitely not the cheapest stuff. I believe I'm getting a lot better of a deal at Western Meat and Deli. But again, I wanted to see what it was like. I want to try a few different sources. And again, what I personally believe is supporting local is the best way to do things. For myself, right now I'm having a lot of debates with people online in comment sections, and I'm actually asking you guys if you want to join in vegan debates where we discuss in video format and you guys can present any information you want why I believe supporting our mass agricultural system is destroying the planet and destroying the world, whether you're supporting that for your meat-based diet or your plant-based diet. So I personally believe that if you want to be eating as morally and ethically as possible, we need regenerative farming. We need farming that deals with the whole system, and animals are a very important part of that system. But I also believe eating locally as possible as well too is very important. You need to be supporting people in your community. You need to be supporting people in, if you're living in the States, in your state or in your province. And again, all this food here is within a couple hours here of London, Ontario. So again, this was a little expensive, $70 here. I'll have to actually price these out. You know, the 2 strip loins I'm guessing were anywhere from 12 to 15 bucks there. So probably we're looking at 30 bucks for those. I'm just gonna guess real quick offhand, maybe 10 bucks here, so 30, 40, 50. No, so that's 30, we'll say 5, 10, so 40, and then this probably took it nice to 70. So somewhere in that range there, so about 70 bucks, and I actually gave them a $5 tip. I honestly believe, again, supporting local, supporting the people who work there as well too. So today I'm going to talk about the tips I left, not to boast and brag, but because I'm giving you guys a whole summation of how much I spent there. These eggs, these are local free-range brown eggs. I got this from, they're basically like Mennonites from just an hour or 2 away. And this whole thing here was $11. I gave her a 20 and I asked for 5 back. So I paid technically $15 for this, but this is about $11. Now, if you guys are following along in the carnivore diet as well too, I'm starting to experiment with adding cheese and dairy back into my diet. The other day I just went and bought like a piece of goat cheese brie from like your regular grocery store, but just to start experimenting with it, if you guys saw that video. But in general, I want to start supporting local and know that it's coming from local. So again, this is all just a couple hours from here in London, Ontario, but I got an assortment of cheeses, and what it was 3 for $20. So again, not the most cheap thing. I think there was another place after I bought this at that farmer's market where you can get bigger portions of cheese, again, all local, but for a lot cheaper. So I'm interested to try this. As you see here, we got sheep Spanish age gold medal award, just says it all, I guess. Romano Lupa pure unpasteurized Pecorni sheep, hard, sharp, salty, aromatic, ideal for grating. Very old goat, aged cheddar, earthy, nutty, slightly crumbly, handcrafted in small batches. Crystallization of a well-aged cheddar. Here we have another type of sheep. what is it called in here? Perconi as well too. So I think very similar as this, or I guess it's the Perconi sheep. See, I'm learning a lot with this as well too. Here we have Old Golden Gouda, local farmstead award winner, hints of butterscotch and caramel. Interesting. And then we have local classic cheddar. So I'm interested to start experimenting more with cheese and implementing that into my diet. And as you can tell here, this wasn't the cheapest, so I'm not gonna be eating like a whole thing of cheese, which is stuff that I would do before because, you know, cheese is just so fucking delicious. I can't help it. But another thing that I'm actually going to be starting to experiment with today is, I believe, day 32 of the carnivore experiment. I might have to double check, but it's implementing honey. So after 32 days, I'm actually going to experiment with carbs again. I haven't had carbs or a coffee or anything to boost energy or anything like that in the last 32 days at least. And I did a big long fast before that as well, 38-hour fast. So this is, I believe, they don't have it on the label here, but this is apple honey, this is berry honey, and this is like a bitter honey. So this, nothing is added to it, it's all just natural honey, but this is what the bees were actually pollinating. So apparently they're pollinating like apple trees. Here they're pollinating with berry bushes, I'm guessing. And this one, I'm not 100% sure. They just said this is more of a bitter kind of honey. So I can't wait to try this out. I'll show you guys in another video, so hopefully you guys check that video out. But again, my first time trying carbs in over 32 days. And from what I'm seeing with Dr. Paul Saladino is that, you know, honey is a great way to get that. And another thing that I saw, I'll try to reference the video up here somewhere, but he showed in a video on his Instagram, I'm not sure if it's on his YouTube as well, but he showed that he was wearing a glucose monitor for a couple weeks, and when he was having honey, you could see the spikes of glucose and when the glucose started to like leave his system. And then he compared that to someone else who's eating like potatoes and rice, and how that when you eat those types of carbs, it really affects you for a long time after, versus honey doesn't have that like prolonged effect that keeps your glucose levels extremely high. You get that spike for about an hour or so, and then your system and your levels return to normal, versus eating in this way where you're eating processed carbohydrates or you're eating carbohydrates from plant sources. Again, I'll have to dive deeper into fully understanding this for myself, but now that I'm experimenting with carbs, I will be looking into it. But it lasts longer, which can be a good thing or can be a bad thing, because if we understand all the issues with diabetes and all this kind of stuff, a big part of it, and insulin resistance, is all due to the types of carbohydrates you're eating as well. So I'm interested to try this, and this was my whole haul here. So again, this was about $40 here, so a little expensive for the cheese, and this was $32 here for the honey. So all together here for all this stuff with the tips I left as well too. So this is 32. I gave them 35. This guy I didn't give a tip because everything, I don't know, it just worked out nice with it being 40. But I spent about $160 on all this here. These eggs are gonna last me several days. This is gonna be like one big meal and probably last me 2 days worth of food. I got 2 strip loins in here, which is gonna last me a couple of days. This is, you know, 2 separate days worth of eating. This cheese I'm gonna spread out. I feel it's gonna last me a long time. And all this honey, like unless I just scarf it all down, this should last me probably a good month at least. I'm gonna have to check to see how much honey to be ingesting and eating while on the carnivore diet, but this I feel like was just a little expensive, but again, I know all my money, I'm voting with my dollar here. All this is going to support communities and people within my area, within my province, and within just a couple hours of my city. So there you have it, guys. There's my little farmer's market haul. This is my first one. Again, maybe I'm not buying the best way. There was a couple other places there. There was 2 butchers at this place. I just went to the first one. There was another place selling cheese. Next time I'll go visit those other places and see what that's like. But if you guys are interested, if you guys enjoyed this video and you guys want to see a full meat haul that I do for my normal butcher, that video should be popping up at the top of your screen here. You can find it in the description box below if you haven't seen it already. But this is what I'm doing right now for the carnivore diet. So again, starting to experiment with honey, starting to implement dairy into my diet after 30 days, now day 32 of the carnivore experiment. So thank you guys so much for watching this. I really appreciate you guys supporting my path, supporting my journey. If you guys enjoyed this, go smash that like button and leave me a comment in the comment section below. I want to know what you guys think about this. What do you think about the carnivore diet? Do you guys think I spent a little bit too much money there? What's your average spending when you're buying stuff like this? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I am the Hungarian Experiment.
I am the Hungarian Experiment.